Ninja just launched their newest blender, the BlendBoss. So today, I'm testing all three functions: blend mode with a protein shake, smoothie mode with frozen fruit, and ice crush mode with a frozen cocktail. But this isn't just a demo, it's a real test of speed and ease of use to see if their new blender is worth your money. But before we test any of the features, what do you get with it straight out of the box? So first up is the actual blending base here with the 3 IQ buttons on the front and the pulse. And on the bottom are these suction cups, which if you stick this down, those hold in there pretty well. I mean, you can hear the suction as I pull it out. They are really strong suction cups. And by the way, look at the color of this thing. I think it's pretty awesome. Aside from that, you get the blending cup with measurements down the side, the blending blade here, and it's got an interesting design. There's like 2 kind of coming up the sides, 2 lower blades, and then 2 even lower than that. So 6 blades on this. And then finally, a lid for it as well. And there are no other parts that are needed to get started with it. All you have to do is plug in the blending base, twist the blade onto the cup, put it upside down onto the blender and lock it in, and you're all set to use it. Now there's one interesting thing I noted while trying to put this together the first time, and that's that if you have the blade assembled without the cup, this little piece right into there kind of locks it into place. I believe it's a safety mechanism. So if you then try to twist the cup onto it with the blade already on there, those 2 pieces are gonna hit each other and you actually can't twist it on. So you have to do it while it's not connected onto the blender. And in the same note, if you try to just twist the cup off of it right here, you cannot do it. It's locked into place that way. So now let's try out blend mode first to see if it can handle a simple protein shake without leaving any clumps behind. For the protein shake, I'm gonna start with about 1 cup of milk. Actually, let's do about 1.5. 1 scoop of chocolate protein powder, and then I'm gonna do a couple tablespoons of this chocolate peanut butter powder. Let's twist the lid back on, throw it down onto our blender, and I'm gonna run it on our very first setting, the Blend IQ. And after 60 seconds, it turns off on its own. Now let's take a look at the results. On first look, it looks super blended, probably a little bit liquidy for a protein shake, but that was my fault. But let's see how it pours. Wow, it looks impeccably smooth and creamy. And I'm gonna get the rest poured out too, just so we can make sure there's no clumps anywhere, and literally nothing is left inside. I have to give that a 100 out of 100 on the blend score. It's completely perfect. And just to make sure it tastes smooth as well, it's literally the consistency of chocolate milk with how smooth it is, and it's got a little bit of airiness and fluffiness to it too. But now that you have your protein shake, what if you want to take it with you to the gym? Well, that lid that we saw while unboxing it twists right onto the top just like the blade does, and then you can push the button in the front to open it and have a really easy way to drink from it. And just to test the drinking experience from it, it's definitely nice, but as you're sipping, you can actually hear a little bit of the airflow kind of coming through this, which makes sense. It's how it all flows, but just something to note on there. Now, apparently the lid is also completely leak-proof. So let's turn it upside down and see. Here we go. Should I do it over my head just to really up the stakes here? Why not? And yeah, my head is not wet. This is definitely completely leak-proof, which means you can toss it right into your gym bag and not worry about it. Now, let's step it up 1 level further to frozen fruits and leafy greens. Once again, we're starting off this recipe with about a cup of milk or so. It does say you need about 3/4 of a cup of some sort of liquid to start the blending here, so that's why I'm starting with it in this recipe. And it says on the cup right here, minimum liquid at that 200 milliliters. Now I'm just gonna pour in a mix of frozen strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. Let's just get a whole bunch in there. And finally, just a handful of spinach to go on top. Our blade goes back on, and this time we're running in the second mode, which is Smoothie IQ. Ooh, okay, so this one kind of pulses a bit. 55 seconds later, it stopped blending. Let's take a look. And our first look here. Ooh, okay, I feel like I see a couple of blueberry or blackberry seeds in there, but let's pour this in and take a look. Okay, that might have been air bubbles that I was looking at, because this is looking really smooth in there. And I mean, how could you complain? There's literally, once again, nothing left inside of the blender cup. Now, just to make sure it's not visually deceiving, I'm gonna try it out as well. I can definitely taste a couple of seeds in there. I'd say we're like 97% blended. So I'll give it a 97 out of 100 on this. But now for our final and most difficult task, let's see if we can make a bar quality frozen cocktail. This recipe starts with about a half a cup of Bacardi, white rum, around a 1/6 of a cup of lime juice, a couple tablespoons of simple syrup, around 5 or 6 ounces of frozen strawberries, and then around a cup of ice cubes as well. And now we're gonna run this on our third and final setting, the Ice Crush IQ. Whoa. And now 50 seconds later, our frozen cocktail is ready. Let's take a look at this one. And just looking at the side, it definitely looks nice and icy and frozen still, a little bit. But as always, let's get it poured out. Ooh, it's got a nice amount of thickness to it. Looks absolutely delicious. And once again, a completely smooth pour with not a trace left behind. But as always, let's double check by tasting. Whoa, that's strong, but it's 100% smooth. I've honestly got no complaints about it. It's an 100 out of 100 once again. Now, after we finish blending, how's the cleanup? Well, first off, the blending cup, the blade, and the lid for the cup are all dishwasher safe. So if you want to, you can just throw them in there and it'll clean itself. Or you can quickly rinse it off with hot water and then fill it up halfway with water, add a couple drops of dish soap, and then throw that mixture back onto the blender. Basically just blend the soap and water for a few seconds, wash out that soapy mixture, and look how clean it already looks inside. Then just one more quick rinse with hot water to make sure all the soap is gone, and about 20 seconds later, it is looking shiny and new once again. So overall, to clean it, it's just about as low effort as it possibly could be. Ninja making a high performance blender makes sense, but did you know they also made a $500 outdoor heater and fire pit? In this video, I test whether it really keeps you warm from head to toe while roasting the perfect s'more.